Central Bank of Nigeria increases loans to government by 3.77 trillion naira in 2 months. First Citizens Bank to acquire collapse, Silicon Valley Bank. Global economy speed limit set to drop to 3-decade low, says World Bank. Oil and gas records the lowest insurance retention rate in Nigeria. And on Business Express today, our focus will be on issues around cash crunch and the egg glut. Details of this and more on Business Express, the network service of the NTA. We are reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Musa Abubakar, your guide. Now let's begin the program with news from the World Bank. A new World Bank report says the global economy's speed limit is set to drop to a 3-decade low by 2030. World Bank's chief economist and senior vice president for development economics, Indamit Gill, who stated this, says the speed limit is the maximum long-term rate at which the economy can grow without sparking inflation. The report titled Falling Long-Term Growth Prospects, Trends, Expectations and Policies offered the first comprehensive assessment of long-term potential output growth rates after the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The report introduced the world's first comprehensive public database of multiple measures of potential gross domestic product growth covering 173 economies from 1981 through 2021. The report documents a worrisome trend. Nearly all the economic forces that powered progress and prosperity over the last 3 decades are fading. As a result, between 2022 and 2030, average global potential GDP growth is expected to decline by roughly a third from the rate that prevailed in the first decade of the century to 2.2% a year. And for developing economies, the decline will be equally steep from 6% a year between 2000 and 2010 to 4% a year over the remainder of this decade. These declines will be much steeper in the event of a global financial crisis or recession. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says its loans to government have increased by 3.77 trillion naira during the first 2 months of 2023. Latest data obtained from CBN on money and credit statistics shows that the total credit from CBN to the government stood at 28.43 trillion naira at the end of February 2023. January, the credit to the government was 26.63 trillion naira, an increase from 24.65 trillion naira in December 2022. This indicates that the government received 1.9 trillion naira in credit from CBN in January and 1.8 trillion naira in February. Now, every situation has its pros and cons, although it depends on the angle of perspective. For this particular cash crunch that is heated hard on everyone, some Nigerians still learned positive lessons. Let's hear from Boss Ibo.
It has been trying times for many Nigerians and the financial sector. Quite demoralizing, seeing many sad faces on queues at ATM points, desperately in need of cash, and the pain that follows. However, some are of the view that the policy has changed their extravagant lifestyle.
Whatever cash you have, you use it to do the basics. Food, just to make sure you meet your basic. There's no time for extravagances any longer. The cashless policy. But like I said, if that could be improved upon, it could solve a variety of problems.
In fact, my wife went to the market to buy the meat. The man that is selling meat have to improvise. He got somebody who has POS. He said, pay it there, I must sell my meat. And it was a good one.
For a very long time, Naira has been abused. Understand? Because most time when I watch all this TikTok of 18, you see celebrities do wedding, people like abuse the currency. So, and I think this is going to put a stop on it.
Over time, I think we will come to appreciate what has been done, because you find out that we will do more of the value of the Naira will begin to appreciate, and then we'll all benefit from an increase in the value of the Naira.
For Ibrahim Abdul Malik, a dispatch rider, the situation has changed his financial system.
Now, as this happen now, we will not have to arrange ourselves. Then, from now on, we now go take money, the little one we have.
But now the situation is improving, as residents came out within the metropolis for cash withdrawal, in line with CBN's directive to ease the pressure caused by the cash crunch on citizens and the economy. This development, however, gave citizens a sigh of relief. So can you tell us the situation and how does this make you feel today?
The situation here is everything done here is organized, and we are happy, very, very happy. Like you can see, like all banks, they are working. Everybody is organized. I just withdraw 20,000 naira.
I'm feeling fine. I really appreciated that I has money for ATM.
We're impressed with the directives of the CBN because for the previous weeks it has been hell.
If this continue like this, within 2 weeks we can see things begin to happen again. Businesses will even have life again.
We have heard from our respondents. Residents are very happy, and it will amaze you that everybody is organized. The place is coordinated, not as rowdy as it used to be when the scarcity pressure was high. That's the situation here in Abuja.
Okay, well, to the focus of our discussion today, the poultry industry happens to be very lucrative in the country, with the industry seen as one of the highest employer of labor. However, the industry was struck with increasing challenges, thereby forcing some of the farmers to close down their poultry, while others quit the business outright, and those who managed to keep afloat are only operating below their original operational capacity. The latest challenge that hit the poultry industry in the state was the attendant hardship which came with the Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. To speak further on issues around egg glut and how government interventions can raise the hope of poultry farmers is Director General of Poultry Association of Nigeria. He joins us via telephone here in Abuja. You're welcome to Business Express.
Good morning, my friend. It's a pleasure.
Okay, the cash crunch affected the poultry industry. In what ways would you say?
Well, the swap of the currency affects the poultry industry very negatively because we are able to sell eggs. To an extent, we're having a lot of glut. A lot of farmers are losing money. And not only losing money, they are unable to feed their birds. Not only able to feed their birds, but because of the inability of selling eggs to barely feed the birds, then have return on investment, most of the farms are closing down. Not if the farms are closing down. We are also pulling back people into the unemployment market. So, because invariably, if you have no production activities and you have nothing doing, then automatically we shut down the farm and go back onto the unemployment market. So, there are my rights and a lot of complexities arising out of the inability of farmers to get cash to buy eggs on daily basis from all categories of Nigerians, from the rich to the average to the poorest people. There have been a lot of trouble. Just like you said in most of our press releases, as of the end of March, we've lost over 30 billion naira in situations whereby we've been unable to sell over 15 million crates of eggs out of 56 million crates of eggs being produced within the period under review, and it's a lot of trouble for the industry.
Okay, but it actually surprised me when you say that they are not able to sell egg because of cash. Does it mean that, is it that the farmers don't accept transfers, they rather prefer cash? Or I just don't, can you give us a picture of what?
Yeah, when you look at the population aggregates of the people that lives and the people that does a lot of patronage of these eggs, there are people at the bottom line of our prosperity. What I mean by this is that the people that actually consume eggs are the farmer, are the people, the laborers, the people on the average, and then these people, if, for example, the people who does wholesaling buys from the farm, and then they needed to retail to the people at the lower level of the pyramid. The final consumers, and then the final consumers are members of our various families, are the laborers, are the people who goes to the farm, are the people who partake in most of these activities. So if the person who buys 1 crate of egg is able to buy and do a transfer, the preponderance of people who consumes almost 70% of the eggs are people that are below the lower level, that don't buy 1 crate of egg, that doesn't buy half crate of egg, that buy 5 pieces of egg, 3 pieces of egg, 2, 3, 4 pieces of eggs. So these people can't do transfer, because if you buy one egg at 20 naira, if you are buying 3, that is 210 naira. Because of 210 naira, you can't do transfer. And then the
but eggs are not sold at 20 naira. Eggs goes for as much as 60 to 70 naira per egg.
That is what I said. I said if you are buying an average egg, which is 170 naira, for a laborer who wants to take indomie with egg and tea, the maximum he takes is 3 eggs. These 3 eggs translates to 210 naira. 210 naira, he cannot transfer, he can't do any transfer.
Okay, Mr. Akpa, there's something I want you to clarify for me. Because that I do buy egg, but I do buy egg from the middlemen. The middlemen buy from the farmer, from the farmers, then they now sell in their shops. I do buy egg. I do buy half a crate, or I know it's not everybody that can afford to buy that. But you talk as if the person that consumes it will have to go direct to the farmer.
No. What I said is this.
Okay.
The people are two type of chains. People involved in the egg business. There are people who goes to the farm to buy wholesale. The people who buy the wholesale also sell to retailers.
Okay.
The retailer sells to the consumers.
Okay.
Now, what we're saying is, if, for example, I'm producing 500 crates of egg on daily basis, and you are able to take from me today, you take from me tomorrow, and you are able to sell these eggs, you won't come back to the farm to buy from me again. And that is why we have this aggregate of unsold eggs. Now, what we're trying to say is that if you look at the population of the people that are involved in the patronage of eggs on daily basis, they are not people at the top echelon of the society. They are the people that are on the average level. And then because of the paucity of fund, egg to some people is luxury. Egg is protein. So now, if you are able to have the cash, the adequate cash to buy basic food amenities for you to eat and be satisfied, it is after then that you can go for egg. So the egg to some people is luxury. You don't eat an egg to fill your stomach. You fill an egg because you want to another source of protein onto your body system. So because of the paucity of fund, people not being able to have cash to do their daily transactions, so the ability to buy egg as an additional source of food becomes impaired, and that is why we have these eggs. So not that the average, the wholesaler goes to pick from the farm to sell to the middlemen, to also sell to the retailer, is unable to sell, and he will never go back to the farm to buy.
But don't you think another thing is because maybe the eggs are actually expensive? Because of what you talked about, how expensive it is to run a poultry these days.
Yes, my good presenter, you see the expensiveness or the height of eggs is a factor of, it's as a result of so many factors. The cost of production is high.
Okay.
The cost of maize is high. The cost of soya is high. The cost of generating your power is high.
Of course.
So invariably, the cost of everything is high, and that will translate into the final cost of the egg. It's not because egg is expensive. Egg is not the only sole product of food that is expensive. Every other thing is expensive in this country, and I continue to tell people that even the eggs which are expensive is because it is part of your vocation. It is part of your investment, and I'll tell you that every other farmer is operating at the rest. No farmer makes 5% profit. So, but because it is your investment, you cannot close it down. Today, it is the industry is having a lot of negativity because the birds continue to produce on daily basis. On daily basis, you need to feed them. On daily basis, you need to provide services. On daily basis, you need to provide medications. So, the expensiveness or the high cost of egg is not as a result of the cash liquidity. You know, it's not because egg is being singled out to be expensive. It's because of the factors of productions.
Okay, now with this, you know, definitely the cashless thing is for advanced societies. Definitely, we'll get to a point where the cashless policy stays. So, what advice or what would you do to encourage farmers to still see how they can actually adjust to life without much cash?
Yeah, we've told our farmers to also be innovative in their marketing approaches. Be innovative in your marketing approaches. Also try to go beyond your level of your channels of distributions in terms of sales of your eggs right away. So we've actually, on our own level as leaders of the industry, advise farmers, look, if you stay within the confine of your farm before and people come to uptake your eggs and it is not happening right away, also try to be innovative in your marketing approaches. Look for other sources of marketing of your products, and then we're also trying to look at the institutional avenue of the association being involved in marketing these eggs on behalf of their members. And we are also trying to also appeal to government that look, come into it, take egg as part of the social services, buy these eggs, give it to the vulnerable people. Since we have a lot of emergencies and then the government continue to support people, then we have a lot of our hospitals, a lot of sick people who sometimes have no access to simple protein like eggs. So buy most of these things as part of the social investment program. And our present stock will be fed with eggs. So while we are also trying from our level to come up with different initiatives of marketing, institutional marketing, individual channels of marketing, we're also appealing to government as part of their responsibility, because this industry has a lot of heavy investment. A lot of people are involved, 20 to 25 million people directly and indirectly. So by the time the government comes into it too, because we are contributing immensely to the economic development of this country, the poultry contributing 25% of the average GDP of this country is a lot of things. So it is not because it is private sector driven does not mean that the burden of provision and consistency should also be left at the private sector alone. So we are appealing to government while we're also looking intensively within ourselves to how to also devise and then expand our marketing channels. So we are appealing to government, we are appealing to the development partners, we are appealing to myself and yourself to also come how to contribute to make sure that we don't come down from where we are. Rather, we should increase at the level of to ensure that we provide more employment, provide cheap proteins, and then make everything affordable to people in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much, Onalo Akpa. We really appreciate your contribution. You should continue to innovate so that we will continue to have eggs in our society.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Yeah. Now moving on, First Citizens Bank has concluded its plans to purchase most of the assets of the failed United States tech lender Silicon Valley Bank. SVB collapsed earlier this month, but the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation said in a statement that it had agreed that First Citizens Bank and Trust Company will buy all of its deposits and loans. These businesses to be acquired by the FCB are the ones that regulators had transferred to a breach bank in the wake of its collapse. 17 former branches of SVB will commence operating as Silicon Valley Bank, a division of First Citizens Bank. SVB customers should continue to use their current branch until they receive notice from First Citizens that systems have been converted to allow full service at its wider branch network. FDIC added First Citizens based in Raleigh, North Carolina, offers general banking services through more than 550 branches and offices in 23 states. Let's now take a trip to the commodities market. The equities market began the week bearish as investors lose 622 billion naira. The all-share index appreciated by 2.07% to close at 53,750.77 points at the close of the day's transactions. A total of 100.8 million volume of shares valued at 4.3 billion naira were traded in 3,279 deals. Equity capitalization stood at 29.28 trillion naira. Global stock market update is next.
In the Asia Pacific traded mixed on Tuesday after Wall Street saw eased investor fears of contagion from the recent banking turmoil after First Citizens Bank shares agreed to buy large parts of Silicon Valley Bank. Japan's Nikkei 225 climbed 0.15% to close at 27,518.25, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index was up 1.11%, while in mainland China, the Shanghai Composite declined marginally. U.S. stock futures inched higher early Tuesday after the S&P 500 posted its third positive session in a row and banking sector concerns continued to ease. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose by 0.41%, S&P 500 added 0.4%, and Nasdaq 100 gained 0.31%. European markets, on their part, are headed for a positive open as investors in the region hope that recent market volatility has come to an end, while markets in Africa are expected to continue their rally when the numbers roll in this Tuesday after a positive close in Monday's session.
Well, thank you, Idaka. That wraps Business Express for the day. Remember to send in your comments, observations, and suggestions. Also be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Join us on Wednesday at 3 p.m. for another package. I'm Musa Abubakar saying God bless Nigeria and keep thinking and doing business.